So I really wanted to make a video about like love and heartbreak, but I don't think I want to talk about that today because I've been in my feels with the retrograde. So I'm actually going to talk about anxiety and depression and suicide today, which is another really incredible topic that I want to talk about. From someone that personally suffers with anxiety. I've had depression in the past and I've struggled with suicide. This is a major topic that I want to talk about, and this might be a longer video. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I think it really needs to be talked about, and I think a lot of people suffer from anxiety and or depression and or suicide, especially in today's day and age with social media and the things that happen. It's not helping. The rates of depression and anxiety and suicide are up because, again, we're comparing ourselves on social media. And I've personally struggled with anxiety pretty much my entire life. Now, I didn't really understand up until the past couple of years that most of my anxiety probably has come from being an empath, which I'm gonna make a whole video about being an empath. But basically that means I take on people's energy and I read people's energy. So that's why I've struggled deeply. I feel that everyone kind of has a form of anxiety, especially social anxiety, which I'm gonna make another video on this, but it's basically that we go out, and why do people feel the need that they have to drink or smoke weed or do drugs to kind of loosen up? And because we all kind of have social anxiety because we're more loose and chill when we're doing that kind of stuff. And why? Because secretly we think everyone's judging us, and sadly a lot of people are. But we don't need to judge people, because when you judge people, you judge yourself. But we'll talk about that in a different video. So I wanted to talk about that it's okay to have anxiety, it's okay to be depressed, it's okay to be suicidal. And a lot of people really struggle with this, and the sad thing is you don't know what anyone's going through on the outside. And that's why it's really truly important to be compassionate for every person that you meet, because literally every person you meet is secretly dealing with something. We're all struggling with our own inner demons. And we have to really be compassionate for the people that we meet. When you see someone smiling on social media, you don't really know what they're going through. You can be the happiest person in the entire world, smiling and giddy, and you're this and you're that, and deep down you're suffering. And unfortunately that was me for a long time. No one would know that. Everyone thinks my life is perfect. Everyone thinks I'm a model and I have a ton of money and I'm living the dream. I'm traveling, I'm doing it all. When deep down I was crying inside every night and struggling and depressed and anxious and suicidal at a few times in my life. I want to talk about anxiety, that I actually took anti-anxiety medication for 7 years. I had a lot of problems with my parents growing up. I was always in therapy. I always felt anxious and depressed, always. A lot of things stem from, childhood and bullying and just judgment and, my parents, and, a lot of that it's genetic. My parents both suffer from anxiety, OCD. My father was always depressed. So unfortunately that gets handed down, and we're not really taught how to treat it. We're taught just take a pill, make it go away. And, for me, I was on that for 7 years because I really started to see a side of myself that I didn't like. And I decided I don't want to be on these drugs anymore. I don't want to be on anti-anxiety because my anxiety is still there. I'm still anxious. I'm still depressed. I'm still having these thoughts, and I'm having like all these side effects. Why am I on pills? So it was really hard going off. And I went off and I contemplated going back on so many times because I was struggling. And I had to really do the inner work and do the healing, and it's ugly and it's crying and it's depression, and it's going deep inside yourself. But I truly believe that we can heal ourselves naturally. It just takes a lot of courage. Now, this is something that I'm briefly going to touch on, but this is going to be a later podcast, YouTube and podcast, that I'm going to talk about. And the thing that actually saved my life and saved me from my own anxiety and my own fear and my own depression was plant medicine. I wouldn't be here without that. It's, you know, it's a taboo topic, but it's also being widely talked about and becoming more common now. And I'm seeing all the spiritual people that I follow are talking about it on their YouTube. So it makes me feel a little better to talk about it. It is something taboo, but I'm gonna get to that in a later YouTube. And that really saved my life. You know, I went in for a consultation and they told me that you have the hardest thing to treat. You're better off coming in here as a heroin addict. And that was pretty serious, because anxiety is so deeply rooted in you. It's the story that you tell yourself every day that I have anxiety. I'm an anxious person. Yeah, that's the story that you've been telling yourself for how many years? So yeah, we'll talk about plant medicine in another YouTube. Don't want to freak you guys out yet. But yeah, so I struggled with that. I was able to go off, and I would never ever go back on that or be dependent on those type of drugs to heal myself. And it's beautiful. You know, and it's okay to be anxious. It's okay to be depressed. Face that head on. Admit it to the world. I have anxiety. I have depression. And no one should use that against you, because that is a disorder and it is a disease. And the right people around you will help you out of that. They won't add to your anxiety. They won't add to your depression. They will help you. They will love you for it. And I had a lot of people always pick on me for it. And you're an anxious person. I was like, yes, I'm aware of it. I know I'm working on healing it, but I don't need you to tell me. That's the thing. Your friends, the people around you, should be trying to help you heal, especially because so many of us have similar issues. And in 2020, where we're all coming out with things the problems that we have, we're all helping each other heal by talking about them. I'm healing myself by talking about this, and I'm gonna heal however many people watch this video by talking about this. And it is a serious thing, and it is real. And like I said, you can be the happiest person on the outside, smiling and laughing and going out, and yeah, everybody loves this guy. He's a great guy. How do you know that guy doesn't go home and cry himself to sleep every night? I know a lot of guys like that. I know a lot of girls like that. I was one of them. I'm all happy on the outside. I'm living the life, living the dream, this and that. No, I would go home and cry to myself and feel empty inside, which that comes of, you know, your own inner self-worth and lack, which another video we'll talk about. But so with these things, we're never really taught how to deal with them. We're taught, again, to go to a doctor, take a pill. And no, there's so many ways to deal with anxiety. Sing, make music, go out in nature, talk to your friends, meditate, do yoga. There's so many ways to deal with anxiety, and like address the pain. Why are you anxious in a situation? And I had such severe anxiety for so many years that I actually stopped going out, which I love going out. I love going out and talking to people. I had such horrible social anxiety that I couldn't go out, because every time I would go out, I would have panic attacks and like really panic. And we're talking about public places. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't leave my home. I was a prisoner of my home. And it's crazy to think that, because I'm a social person. I love talking to people. I got my bachelor's in psychology. I wanted to help people. I love it. I love being the center of attention. How could this be? How did I let this happen? How did I become this anxious person? And again, you have to talk to yourself and address these things and understand why have I become this way? It's a lot of times it's the story. And like the story was, I'm anxious, I have anxiety. Okay, that's the story that I keep telling myself then every single day. And to this day, I still know I have anxiety, but I know how to deal with it now. I went out the other night and was able to be free in myself. I can go out now and enjoy with my friends again. And when an anxious thought comes up, I address it, I take a moment, I breathe, and I get through it. Why am I anxious? Relax yourself. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself in your head. Talk to yourself in your mind. Talk to others. Help others. If someone's going through something, well, why are you anxious? Talk to me. Don't badger them for it and make it worse. And that's what we do. We're not compassionate with ourselves and with other people. And that's where the real healing begins. I know a lot of people that are really depressed, and people don't want to talk about these things. They want to just, well, this is how I am, and I don't want to address it. I don't want to talk about it because, again, we're seen as weak for showing our emotions, especially guys. Guys don't want to show their emotions. They don't want to show their anxiety or depression or whatever, because then they're seen as weak. It's not weak. It's not weak. Cry it out, scream it out, do whatever the freak you need to do to get it out. And I've been crying for 3 days. That's how we get it out. That's how we address the pain and the fear, the anxiety, or whatever it is that you're dealing with. That's how we face it head on. Talk to your friends. They're there for you. Talk to your family. The people that love you are there for you. And suicide is a really big thing. For the longest time, like I said, I always told myself that I just have anxiety. I'm not depressed. No, for a long time I was depressed and suicidal. And it was scary, and I just didn't know how to live with the demons and the thoughts in my head. And that's when I really wanted to go back on medicine. And I'm just like, no. And the reality is, a lot of people numb their depression and their pain and their anxiety and whatever it may be by doing the wrong things, by going out and drinking and doing drugs and smoking weed and hooking up with girls or gambling or whatever it is, whatever your vice is for dealing with that stuff. And that really only makes it worse. It's not going to make your anxiety, depression, suicide, your pain, whatever you're dealing with, it's not going to make it any better. It's going to make it freaking worse. Because at the end of the day, you're numbing yourself. You're numbing yourself every day. And then when you're not, you need that fix. You need that high again, because you don't know how to be in your own mind and talk to yourself. You don't know how to be alone with your thoughts. So you really have to master that. And it's really hard. It's hard. Like I said, I wasn't able to fully do it by myself. I needed plant medicine to help me do that. And it truly has opened my eyes and helped me with the things that I battle. I want to touch on suicide, that it's hard to talk about, and it's a real problem that so many people face that you would never imagine. Look at how many celebrities have killed themselves, and it's sad, and it's the happiest people. You think they're so happy, but you don't know what they're going through, because you don't see inside in their head, in their heart. You don't see what they've gone through. You only see the outer. And it's sad to think that someone has so much pain inside to take their lives. And I'm getting chills because I was one of those people. I just was so unhappy and depressed. I didn't know why. I just felt it inside. I was not in a good place, and I wanted to take my life. And the one time that I actually did try to take my life, I was 21 years old. I found out, I went to the University of Florida. I found out that I graduated. I did the whole thing, walked with my friends, waited for my diploma in the mail, and the diploma never showed up. So I called, and they said, well, you didn't graduate. And I said, what do you mean? I graduated. I walked. I graduated. I just moved back down to South Florida. And they're like, no, you did not graduate. You need two more credits. You need 2 more classes. And it just, the utter shock and disbelief hit me all at once, because I had moved down back to South Florida, and I was like, I started a whole new life. I had a full-time job at the time. I was nannying. I could not believe the pain just hit me all at once, the failure, I felt so defeated that, my family, they went to UF, and my friends and everyone graduated, and I didn't graduate. And I felt the pain inside, and it hurt me so bad that in that moment I wanted to die. I really did. The pain was so bad that I couldn't face it, and I wanted to die. And I went right in the bathroom, and I swallowed a whole bunch of Xanax that I found, and it was crazy. My mom walked in and I told her I did something really bad. And I told her, and, you know, she had to call an ambulance, and all I remember was just waking up in the hospital and drinking this black stuff, getting my stomach pumped, and that's all I remember. I woke up 14 hours later on my couch. And so what happened? And that experience was incredible. And, you know, I thought I'll never try to do this again, and I'm here and for a purpose. I'm alive and to get through this and help people. And the reality is, you know, years down the line, I was suicidal again. And to come out of that is really powerful. God saved me that day. It wasn't my time to go. So I can share my story. I'm sorry, I've been like really emotional. To share my story with other people. And it's crazy to talk to so many of my good friends that also seem like such strong, happy people. And they're like, I've tried too. Or I've had thoughts too. I've had thoughts of suicide. I've tried suicide. And so it's scary that so many people have gone through this, and it needs to be talked about. The strongest, happiest people are sometimes the ones that like hold the deepest pain, and they're crying on the inside. The ones that are smiling all the time and helping people and are super happy, those are the people that have really endured pain. And to overcome something like that is so incredibly beautiful. You're so strong as a person. So if you are someone that has overcome suicide, if you've overcome your depression, your anxiety, you don't know how strong you are. Whether if you're still struggling with anxiety or depression or suicide, which I'm not anymore, and it's beautiful. It's so amazing that like I'm free, and I grab my stone. I love wearing my stones. I grab my stones. I'm free of all of that, and it took a long time. Again, you have to heal yourself and get out of those behaviors. And let me tell you, drinking and doing drugs and doing all those things, whatever it is you do, is not going to help heal you. It's only going to prolong the process. It's facing your demons and your pain and your anxiety and whatever you deal with head on, and deal with it. Cry, scream, do whatever you need to do, deal with it head on. But by sharing your story and talking to other people and opening up about these subjects, you're saving someone, whether you've saved one person. And the reality is, you don't want to take your life. You were put here for a purpose. You are loved. You are not meant to feel anxious or depressed. You're meant to feel loved, and because you are loved every day. You are love, and you're spreading love. And I hope whoever's watching this video, I hope that I can help one person. Again, you know, it's been a while since I felt these things, but this is something that I felt for a long time. And whatever you've gone through to get, whatever made you get that anxiety or depression or suicidal thoughts or pain, whatever it is, you can change it, you can grow from it, you can learn from it. The fact that you're still here and you're standing is beautiful, and you should be so proud of yourself if you've overcome these things. I'm not saying, like you said, there's always going to be those thoughts, and sometimes emotions come up and you do get in a little depression, or you do get anxious, or you really don't, you do feel suicidal, but you're here for a purpose, and you're here to share that story with someone else and help them. I know so many people right now suffering, and I turn the pain into power, and I can help somebody now because I have healed myself. You know, I get hypnosis, I get Reiki, I'm studying to be a Reiki master. I get my second Reiki next weekend because these things have helped me with my anxiety. They've helped me heal. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many modalities that you can turn to, not the drugs and the sex and the alcohol or whatever it is. Those are only gonna further prolong your healing process. Turn to the spiritual practices. Do yoga, do Reiki, do hypnosis, do sound healing. There's so many beautiful forms of healing, It's crazy because it's like they're so, you think like, what is this? This is like hippie stuff. And they've been doing this stuff for hundreds of thousands of years to help people heal the anxiety and the depression, the suicide. And you meet these people from other countries in the middle of the jungle, and they're like the happiest people. They don't have everything that we have because they live such like a beautiful natural life. And the things that we have, the social media and the technology and all this stuff really does cause anxiety and depression, and it's scary, and we need help. We need help, and we can help each other together. And I want you to know, if you've ever struggled with anxiety, depression, pain, suicide, you're not alone. You're not alone in the world. Most of the world actually deals with this, whether they admit it or not. Most of the world really does have either depression or anxiety at one point in their life, whether it's prolonged or not. So you're not alone. Speak your truth. Tell someone that you need help. Tell yourself that you need help, that you are depressed and you need healing, and you have gone through these things. And by sharing our stories like this, we really can help each other. We can help ourselves and we can help each other. And yeah, I really hope that this video helps you, and I hope that I can help heal people now that I'm in a place that I've healed myself from these things that have always tormented me for a good portion of my life, that you try to hide and you try to convince yourself that you're not, because we don't want to seem like we're broken or we're weak. And you're not broken, you're not weak. We're all broken and trying to heal and find ourselves in life, and it's beautiful. When you do, you can help others. So I hope you guys like this video, and yeah, I can't wait to share more things and help people, and together we can really heal ourselves. You just have to go within yourself and you have to do the work, and you have to it's not pretty, it's not fun sometimes, but you can do it, and you can get through anything, and you can overcome your anxiety, depression, pain, suicide, whatever you're going through. I love you guys so much, and I hope this video helped you, and sending you all lots and lots of love and light. I hope you all are getting through retrograde, because it's been a rough one for me, but it's been great and powerful and beautiful. And yeah, I'm excited. Retrograde is over in, what, another week or so? A little over a week. Love you guys.